The Dallas Mavericks looked like one of the NBA's most improved teams after the trade deadline, with their mid-season acquisition seemingly fitting in perfectly beside superstar Luka Doncic. But that improved play was hiding the ugly truth. Doncic's Mavs have given up way too much over the years to still be this mediocre. After adding the versatility of PJ Washington and the combination of rim running, rebounding, and shot blocking Daniel Gafford brings to the lineup, the Mavs reeled off 4 straight wins as part of an overall 7-game win streak. However, Dallas has quickly come crashing back to earth, blowing a late lead in Cleveland, suffering a home loss to the Embiid-less Sixers, and taking blowout L's to the Pacers and Celtics. Suddenly, the post-deadline version of this team looks a lot like the inconsistent middling squad Dončić has been propping up all year. Sure, the Mavs' offense finally looks closer to the juggernaut it should be, but the lackluster defense and overall results are more indicative of Dallas' ceiling. And while Dončić himself isn't exactly a consistent defender, how much more can the All-NBA first-teamer really give? In that loss to Cleveland, Dončić had 45 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds, and 3 steals on 59% shooting, while winning his minutes by 13 points. In just 7 minutes without him, the Mavs were outscored by 15. His 38-point triple-double against Philly wasn't enough because despite winning his 40 minutes played by 9 points, the Mavs were outscored by 13 in the 8 minutes Dončić sat.
Stop me if you're sensing a theme here.
I've ranted before about how Dallas has wasted the head start that precocious Dončić provided them, and you could argue it's only gotten worse since the last of those rants. Coming out of last year's draft with Derek Lively was terrific for the Mavs, and I still believe in Josh Green and Jaden Harden. But the overall upside here just doesn't line up with all of Dallas's wheeling and dealing. Trading for Kristaps Porzingis during Doncic's rookie season kickstarted this chain of events, as the big man never quite fit into a Luka-centric system. Buying low on Kyrie Irving was a worthwhile gamble that has mostly paid off, but it came with the team's draft capital already dwindling. Plus, the reason they needed Kyrie in the first place was because the front office absolutely botched the Jalen Brunson situation, eventually watching the ascendant star walk for nothing in free agency. Trading for the versatile Grant Williams last summer made sense, even if that deal included more draft picks. But Williams and the Mavs didn't exactly enjoy their time together, to say the least. Halfway through his first season in Dallas, Williams was traded to Charlotte in the deal that brought PJ Washington to Texas. But to complete that transaction, the Mavs also gave up a 2027 first-rounder that is only top 2 protected. Finally, Dallas landed Gafford by trading little-used big man Richaun Holmes and a 2024 first-rounder they had acquired from Oklahoma City earlier on deadline day. Except here's the thing, in order to nab that pick used in the Gafford deal, the Mavs gave the Thunder first-round swap rights in 2028.
It's almost as if you have no business training at all.
Those 2 deadline day deals are representative of the Mavs front office's overall performance during the Dončić era. Since benefiting from the collective buffoonery of Phoenix, Sacramento, and Atlanta on draft night in 2018, Dallas has been chasing its tail to find the right mix around its franchise star. Even when the Mavs make a move that improves their short-term outlook, it's often only an incremental upgrade that doesn't justify the long-term cost. The Mavs have spent the last 5 years exhausting all that aforementioned draft capital and trade equity just to end up a likely play-in team whose third best player is either practically a teenager or Daniel Gafford. Now, you might give the Mavs some credit for acting with a sense of urgency and consistently trying to build the best possible team they can around Dončić, even when the available upgrades are merely marginal. But this team has just never seemed capable of seeing the big picture, of seeing the forest for the trees. And they just keep doubling and even tripling down.
What the hell are they doing?
You could argue most teams would still trade places with the Mavs in a heartbeat given the mere presence of Dončić. But that's becoming less so the closer we get to the end of Luka's contract, which could come as soon as 2026. Not to mention, the Mavs are capped out through at least next season, are unlikely to keep their first rounder this year, and don't have enough to barge their way into star trade talks anytime soon, especially without giving up Lively. I know this might all seem alarmist to Mavs fans, but in NBA years, where time seemingly moves at the speed of light, 2026 isn't that far off. In terms of sheer activity, the Mavs have done a lot during the Dončić era. But when have they ever really done it right? Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.